Welcome back.
To Marriage Beyond the Veil.
And it's time for a jewel.
Yeah, so what did you come up with?
She's got jokes.
Always.
Anywho, what I want to talk about is assessing and admitting where you fall short. I think that that's really key. And I think, unfortunately, in a lot of marriages or love relationships, but even just individually, a lot of folks don't want to have to acknowledge their shortcomings. But we think it's important to assess and then admit where you fall short.
Oh, 100%. And like Fred said, this isn't something that's easy to do, and it's not something that people really readily want to do. But in a love relationship, the only way that it will survive is if because it's so much better if I assess where I fall short than if you tell me.
Okay.
Because if you tell me where I'm falling short,
then you feel attacked.
Yep. I might get an attitude, you know.
Does it really matter who's pointing out the shortage as long as it's been assessed?
So how are you assessing my shortages? So that's my point, Yeah,
no, and I agree. It's better for one to really be able to be introspective and acknowledge the short. Now I'm gonna tell you, when you talked about shortcomings and acknowledging them, I'll never forget. John was a wee lad, and we were going to do homeschooling. And I was pumped up about it. And I went to the meetings and, all the training, everything like that. And I was pumped up. The tragic reality is, as excited as I was for this opportunity to homeschool John, I was just not cut out for it. And because I just did not have the patience, because John was such a bright kid. And so when he wasn't operating at the level that I thought he should have been operating, it was frustrating for me.
Or in the way that you thought he should do it. That was more or less the challenge. It wasn't that.
But still, nonetheless, it with me going to the training and getting prepared and all of that, because I have much more flexibility with my day than she did.
Right.
But John fell behind in the schoolwork. And when Gail discovered how far behind he was, she, of course, took over the homeschooling piece. But I will never forget the pain I felt when I saw the disappointment in your face.
I don't remember that.
You don't have to. You were angry, but more than anything else, you were hurt. Because basically, this had been entrusted to me, and I fell short. Big time. But I will never forget that moment. I will never, as long as I live, forget the moment, because there was such a sense of disappointment that I had let her down, naturally let John down too. But knowing how she depended upon me to take care of this, and I didn't, that's a horrible place to be. Horrible.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
That I gave you the look.
No, I mean, and like I said, of course you were upset, but you were deeply hurt, which then deeply hurt me. If I had assessed
early on,
right, and came to her and admitted
early on,
then we could have avoided all of that.
This is true.
So you see, my lack of assessing and admitting hurt All of us.
Yeah. Yep. But we made it through.
We made it through. Mm-hmm. So until tomorrow, assess, admit, and avoid the hurt. If the Lord says the same.
Have a good evening.